Hello everyone, welcome you all to today's class. Today you might be very excited to study because after a long gap we are going to start our class, right? And also new class, new syllabus, new topic, right? And new session. So everything is just like a fresh start. So let us begin today's class with high spirits and let's learn some new concepts. Yeah, okay, let's begin. So as you can see my screen here, yeah, so this is the topic we are going to start. And the sets that is maybe you might be using from a very long time, but without knowing you have to study this in mathematics, right? So the topic set, it is, you can say, very easy, very profound. Yeah, so here I have taken a brief outline of the topic. We will start with what is a set, then how to denote it, representation, types of sets, subsets, intervals, power set, Venn diagram, various set operations, and of course applications of set operations, right? So this is all about the brief outline of the topic we are going to study. And in today's lesson, and of course we cannot finish the whole topic, in today's lesson we can cover these concepts. So basically what is a set, what is a set, notation of set, how to represent it, and types of sets. So these are the subtopics or these are the concepts we are going to study today. Okay, now one question, why should we study sets? In the very beginning of the class, very beginning of the session, why we have to start the class with sets? So as I said, set is a very simple and yet very profound concept. A good knowledge of sets will really help you to study probability, relation function, various functions, trigonometry, okay, and many other branches of mathematics in a very simple way. So it means in today's mathematics, yeah, if you see, almost every branch of mathematics, when studying any branch of mathematics, you will find the role of sets there. So that is the reason we are going to start sets in the beginning of the class. Okay, and also if you see, as I said, you might be using the term set. Do you remember? You have been using the term set since many years, maybe from your childhood. Like for example, when we say geometry set, uniform set, yeah, group of students, yeah, group of students of your class. Yeah, your class, suppose you are in class 11, students of class 11, rivers of India, okay, and you can say set of real numbers, set of natural numbers, okay. So basically we are not very new to the term set, yet we have to study it mathematically. Okay, so here you see, so I have taken some images here. Yeah, so here you see why I have taken such images. So now in the first case, you can see, so there are some, you can see where your favorite emojis I have taken. And in second figure also we have taken some of the colored pencils. Yeah, and this is, some tools from the toolbox. And finally, this fourth image is group of students, or you can say group of players. So from these four images, so what can you imagine? What can you guess? So it is one type of objects, various emojis, and it is one type of images. You can say set of group of collection of pencils. Okay, now collection of tools, and here collection of players, collection of children, group of students, right? So from this, what you can imagine, so group, collection, set means to some extent it is like that. Whenever we talk about a collection of objects, so that is basically set from these four images. This is the guess you can make. But here let me tell you, whenever so even if more or the less we use set for this purpose, toolbox set, geometry set, okay, group of players, right? Group of rivers in India. So group of, whatever group collection. So basically we use set for that. So proper definition mathematically, how can we define? Because though we have been using the set since very, very long time, and still we have to give the mathematical definition to it. So here you can see a set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects. Okay, set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects. Here you can observe collection of well-defined. So the key terms, keywords, we have two keywords here. One is well-defined and the other one is distinct. So what do you mean by well-defined? So let me tell you. So well-defined, for example, if I say all the interesting movies released in 2020, or if I say the collection of interesting movies released in 2020. So now the term interesting, is it same for everyone? If the movie is interesting for me, it may or may not be interesting for you, right? So it means the term interesting varies from person to person because everybody's interest is not same. Similarly, if I say collection of all the difficult questions of NCERT exercise 1.1. So whenever we say collection of all the interesting, difficult, interesting movies, I told you. Now collection of, you can say, collection of all the difficult questions, or difficult problems of exercise 1.1. So when we say difficult questions, as you know, difficult is a relative term. Okay, if I say mathematics is difficult, mathematics is simple. So simple or difficult, it is not very, you can't say it is same for everyone. It doesn't have same meaning. So if I say mathematics is very simple, so because it may be of my interest. Okay, there are many students who feels, mathematics very simple, than other subjects, but there are some, and there may be, many of your friends, for them mathematics is not that simple. Similarly, whenever we say collection of difficult questions, now the question which is difficult for one, that might not be difficult for the other student, for the other person. So whenever we say simple, difficult, yeah, interesting, yeah, you can say a collection of best, batsmen of India, 10 best batsmen. So best, that is also relative term. Yeah, if I say collection of most talented students of our school, so again, most talented. It varies from person to person, right? Somebody may be talented in dance, he or she might not be that talented academically. So, all these terms are not well defined. But whenever we specify something like collection of all the months of the year started with J, so that can have fixed answer for everyone. So anybody you ask, to anybody you ask this question, he or she will answer, okay, January, June, and July. There is no ambiguity. There is no, you can say, second opinion about this. Okay, is it clear? What do we mean by well-defined? Okay, the term should have same meaning for everyone. Is it clear? Similarly, distinct. What do we mean by distinct? So the term distinct means again different. So here, whenever we take collection of objects, so the objects should be different. So here, if you see the toolbox, so even if there are various tools here, each tool is different from the other, right? So it means objects in the set, objects in the collection should not be repeated. It means each and every object should be different, distinct from each other. Is it clear? So here, when we say set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects, I hope it is clear. Okay, now next, how to write the set. Okay. Okay, how to write it? Notation of sets. So here you can see very, very clearly we have taken some numbers, some elements. So when we say, set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects. Now, suppose I write here, I write the set as, so here I have taken this set N. It has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see how we are writing this. Okay, elements, the objects of the set, we call them elements. Like 1 is an element of the set N, 9 is an element, 2 is an element. So all these objects are called elements of the set. Okay, then how do we write it? So we write it like this. All the elements of the set enclosed within the curly bracket and they are separated by commas. So when we write all the elements are enclosed within curly bracket and enclosed within curly bracket and separated by commas, here one thing is there. See, whenever we, each one of us, we have some names, right? I have a name, you have a name, like this. So set also to be identified as, in terms of a name. For example, if we write set, suppose, so the names of the set can be taken as, like you can say set A, B, C, A, B, C. So the sets are denoted by capital alphabets. Okay, and the elements we write like this. Suppose A is just set. I'm taking here A E, I, O, U. It means all the 5 vowels in English alphabet. So here you can see A, E, I, O, U. These are elements of set A, and the elements are enclosed within curly bracket and separated by commas. And we use some notations here also. A is an element of set A. So we write like this: A belongs to set A. Similarly, E belongs to set A. Yeah, I belongs to set A. When one element is not part of the set, for example, D is not part of set A. D is not an element of set A. So we can write here, D doesn't belong to set A. Okay, is it clear? So belongs to, yeah, doesn't belong to. We write like this, yeah, belongs to. Okay, this symbol is an element of, or while reading it, we read it as belongs to. Okay, doesn't belong to, not an element of. So here you can see. So is an element of, this is the symbol we use for this. Like for example, 4 is an element of set N. So we write here 4 belongs to set N. Similarly, 12 is not an element of this set. So we write here 12 doesn't belong to set N. Okay. Okay, then next one is representation of sets. Okay, so till now we have studied what is a set. Set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects. How to write it? We write, first we name the set by taking capital alphabets A, B, C, D, X, Y like this, and objects of the set are called elements of the set. Elements of the set are enclosed within curly bracket and separated by commas. So when a particular element is part of the set, we write that element belongs to that set. If the particular element is not part of the set, we can say that element doesn't belong to that set. Okay, how to represent it? So like for example, here again, I will be taking this simple example. So like, when we write here, A is a set, the two methods we are using here, one is roster method, the other one is set builder method. Suppose we have set A, it is A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so here we are writing the sets elements by writing each and every element. So roster method or tabular method, or we can call it display method also. Display method. So in this method, representing the set by using roster method or tabular method means we display each and every element of the set. Similarly, whenever we write another set B, so suppose B is, we are writing, we are taking the set B as the students of class 11. Okay, so if I write here, so it is student of class 11. So I have to write here the name, roll number of each and every student. So starting from student 1, if I have 30 students in the class, I have to write up to student 30. So each and every name of, each and every student's name should be written. So I have to display each and every element. So that is all about roster method, right? So like here I have written A, E, I, O, U. And similarly here, name, roll number of each and every child. And what is the disadvantage of this method? See, when you have 5 elements, Yeah, 7 elements, it's fine. 30 elements you can write, 100 elements you can write. But whenever the number of elements in a set is very, very large, it is very time consuming. Sometimes it may not be possible to write each and every name of each and every element of the set. So in that way, we have another method which we call set builder method. So set builder method is comparatively easy for us. Okay, I mean we can save time. Suppose you have a, it is x such that x is a vowel in English alphabet. Vowel in English alphabet. Okay, this is the way to write the set in set builder method. Similarly, B is a set whose elements are x such that x is a student of class 11, whichever section you write. Okay, so like this we can write. So it means in set builder method we can, write the set by certain criteria, certain characteristic, yeah, by a defining property. So in set builder method, the set should be expressed, yeah, represented by its defining property. Okay, so another example maybe we can take, suppose you are having a equal to 1, 4, 9 up to 100. Okay, so this is the set written in roster form, right? So if I have to write it in set builder method, how should I write it? A is a set whose elements are x such that x is a perfect square. X is a perfect square and 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 100. Okay, so this is the way we can represent the set. Okay, so two methods of representing the set. One method is we write it in, so one method we write the set by its defining property. The other method is we write it as display method, right? Okay. So next one is our types of sets. Okay, so here you can see from the screen, there are various types of sets, right? So here you can see 12 types. Okay, empty set, singleton set, finite, infinite set, equal and equivalent sets, universal set, subset, proper subset, superset, proper superset, power set. Okay, so there are 12 types of sets written here. Okay, so let's discuss some of the types today. So maybe we can start the sets broadly into like set is finite, infinite, okay, finite, infinite, and empty set. Okay, so here when we say, so it's basically out of 12 types, though we will be studying each and every set. But now for the time being, we start with 3 types. Means broadly we divide the set into 3 types. First one is set having, finite set. That is set having finite number of elements. Okay, set having limited number of elements. So it means when you say A equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you can see A has 5 elements. Or if you say B is a set X such that X is a student of class 11 of certain school, of your school. Okay, so yeah, so of your school, or you can write any schools. Yeah, so here you can write of school A. Okay, so it means you can count the number of students in the school. Yeah, we have definite number of students in the school. Okay, so whenever a set contains definite number of elements, finite number of elements, we can call that set as finite set. Similarly, infinite set, what is it? So we can say set having infinite number of elements. For example, if I write here set A as, I write here X such that X is an integer, X is an integer less than equal to 100. Okay, so here you see X is an integer less than equal to 100. So can this be a finite set? No, because you can take any integer less than equal to 100. So it means you may start like maximum value of the integer is 100. You can come down 99, 98, 97 like this, and 0, -1, -2, -3 and so on. So it is non-ending. So you have infinite number of integers. You can have, which are less than equal to 100. Similarly, if I write here B, suppose set of, you can say numbers, set of numbers, yeah, set of numbers greater than equal to, or set of numbers which are multiples of 5 greater than equal to 10. Okay, set of numbers, you may say real numbers, you may say natural numbers, anything. Okay, less than equal, greater than equal to 10. So it means you have infinitely many numbers. Similarly, set of real numbers, natural numbers, integers, set of, you can say the numbers which are multiple of 5, which are multiples of 10. All these are, you can say you do not have finite number of elements. You have infinitely many such elements. So the sets having infinite number of elements, we take it as infinite set. Okay. So whenever we say finite set, it means number of elements in that set is finite. Whereas when we take infinite set, number of elements in infinite set is very large. Yeah, we cannot have the definite number, or we can say we cannot count the number of elements in infinite set. A third category is empty set or null set. Okay, empty set or null set or void set. The other name of this is also void set. Okay, so here you see the set having no element. Okay, so empty set means it is empty, right? The set having no element. Okay, so how it is possible? So let's see. An empty set is denoted by 5. Okay, here you see we have written 5 without any bracket. Okay, so how you can, can you give some examples of empty set? For example, if I say the set of real solutions in the equation x squared plus x plus 1 equal to 0. So here, as you see, this is a quadratic equation. Discriminant is 4, I mean b square minus 4ac. So 1 minus 4, that is minus 3. b is less than 0. There is no real root. But if I say x is a real root of this equation, it is not possible. It means it cannot have any real root of this equation. So if we take the set as the set having real roots of x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0, it is not possible. So it means we have to take it as an empty set. Okay. So there maybe we can take some examples now. Okay, whatever we have studied. So maybe some more examples of empty set we can take. Okay, suppose for example, yeah, one example we have taken. Yeah, so as I said, if I write here x such that x is a real root of x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so this is not possible because there is no real root for this quadratic equation. Okay, it can be taken as 5. Another example may be like this: x such that x is a common point, x is a common point of two parallel lines L1 and L2. So can you have any point in common to two parallel lines? No, it's not possible. So it is also an empty set. Okay, another empty set, the example can be x such that x is an odd integer divisible by 2. Okay, is it possible any odd integer which is divisible by 2? Can we have some integer? I mean the integer is odd and divisible by 2. Is it possible? No. So it is also, I mean we can take it as empty set. So here we can say this is also 5. Okay, so these are some of the, you can say, examples of empty set. Okay, now let us take some more examples, like I can just go back to this NCERT book. Okay, I think null set is clear, I mean quite clear from these examples. Okay, now you have to say the sets which are finite or infinite. Okay, so I'm taking some examples here. Set of months in a year. It can be finite, okay, because we have 12 months in a year, so that is finite. And whenever you write here, 1, 2, 3, 4, suppose a set is 1, 2, 3 up to 100. It is finite or infinite? It is finite set because we have the numbers up to 100. Okay, the set of letters of English alphabet. It is also finite. Set of circles passing through the point 0, 0. Set of circles passing through origin. Can it be finite? No, because through a point there can be many circles. Okay, so it can be taken as infinite set. Okay, now here finally I can just wind up the class with yes, some more examples, set builder form and roster form. Suppose for example you have E is a set, okay, it is a set X such that X is a letter of the word trigonometry. Okay, So if this is the set, how to write it in roster form? So we can write in roster form as we have to display each and every element. So we can write here TRIGONME and Y. Okay, I think we have covered all the letters. And as you know, set is a collection of well-defined and distinct elements, distinct objects. So here, even if you have two T's here, you are taking only one T. And similarly, you have O twice, we are considering only one O. Okay, elements of the set should not be repeated. Okay, so the elements of the set should be distinct. Okay, so similarly, yeah, so we have studied set builder form also, and one more just, yeah. So let me take F is a set. Maybe I can write here 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, and so on. Okay, so this is given in roster form. How to write in set builder form? If we want to write in set builder form, we have to first see the defining property. It means what pattern the elements are following. So 2, 4, 6 like this. So these are even natural numbers. So what we can write here, x such that x is an even natural number. Okay. So we have studied today what is a set, how to denote it, okay, and how to represent it, and also in types of sets we have studied finite set, infinite set, empty set. Okay, so in the next class we will be studying equal and equivalent sets, then subsets, okay, and some more types. Okay, so let us wind off the class today, and I hope the concepts we studied today is very, very clear to you. Yeah, so, and my expectation is like you can revise the topic, okay, so that we can connect the concepts to the next concept we are going to study. Okay, so thank you once again.